Hi everyone, my name is Phinah from South Africa. I am the CEO of Soul City, and I'll be talking today about one of our innovative ways that we wanted to add our voice to the fight against patriarchy, the fight against gender-based violence and femicide, which was our talk show called It's a Feminist Thing. This was an 8-part talk show where we looked at the different intersections of the system, the patriarchal system, and how it impacts on our lives as women, and how it's enabled through culture, through custom, through religion, through everyday life, through politics, how this system is enabling the culture of violence that is perpetrated on women, where a lot of women in South Africa continue to lose their lives. And it feels like there's impunity. People are not being held accountable for this violence that is perpetrated on women. The show was done in partnership with our public broadcaster, the SABC. It was hosted on SABC2 on Sundays. And it was one of a first of its kind, where the public broadcaster was willing to put a feminist label on one of its shows, which in actual fact is revolutionary, to look at a talk show that is unapologetically feminist and overtly feminist, and talking boldly about the issues, challenging boldly the patriarchal system that is so entrenched, and how this system continues to violate the rights of the women of South Africa. South Africa to date is still counted among the highest in terms of gender-based violence and femicide. Our president has made a call over and over again for everybody to jointly put their effort in making sure that we do away with this violence, to look at how we can jointly fight this system, fight this violence. But we see that there's still a lot to be done in our country. So the talk show was a contribution from Soul City in adding its voice to saying this is unacceptable. We don't like what we are seeing happening in our country. We want people to be held accountable for the violence that is perpetrated. And we wanted to add a voice that says enough is enough. There is no more violence that we are going to just accept. And whether it's cultural, whether it's religion, whatever that enables this system to perpetrate so much violence, we were trying to dismantle. We were trying with this show to make sure that everyone who's part of the problem knows that as a movement of women, as a feminist movement, we've had enough and we want action to be taken. So far, what we know about how the show has been received is that people are actually saying it's about time. It's about time that something like this is on our public broadcasting spaces, where people freely talk about the system and its impact without fearing anything. It was a bold movement by the feminists to say we are going to go publicly about what we think of patriarchy, what we think of the system, and how we see it being enabled, whether politically, whether religiously, whichever way that it's being enabled. We felt as Soul City, we've had enough. And the women who joined as panelists, on the talk show came strongly with arguments that really indicate that something must be done. People have had enough. We had within the show a segment where we had allies, male people, 2 males who were also saying they are not aligning themselves with the patriarchal system because they recognize the injustice that is perpetrated by that system. These 2 males were allies in that every time they were talking about this system, they were looking at it from the point of view of the privileges that it gives to men. And they were saying and calling out this system for what it is, and saying to the women on the talk show, we support the fight and we want to be the kind of men who will bring down the system in partnership with you as women. And we really appreciated having such allies, men who are bold to say, I know that I'm benefiting as a man from this system, and I don't want to act ignorant as if I don't see the privilege that I am given as a man. And therefore, I call out other men to help us fight this system because we've had enough. Remember, this system is not only benefiting men, it also destroys men. And there'll be evaluations that will be done to see just how much, this talk show has enabled men to reflect differently on their privileges and how the system has actually benefited them and whether they are willing to relinquish the privilege. We will see when we get the results of the talk show. So far, the talk show has been well received. People have been saying it's about time. We needed something like this. We needed something where publicly we can talk freely about how this system is hurting all of us, men and women alike. We talked publicly about how our culture, our religion, our politics is entrenching this system and the disadvantages to all of us if this is not addressed. So we are happy as Soul City to have done this project. We are hoping to get season 2 of the project. We are talking to different partners about bringing season 2 because we only had an 8-part talk show, which was accompanied by strong PSAs, that were demonstrating the issues. One of the PSAs was about the differences between how women and men interact with the system. So we were demonstrating how when men wake up to go and jog, all they care about is just dressing up to go and jog. But women have to take time to check that they've taken a pepper spray, to check that they've let someone know that they are going out jogging in case something happens to them while they are jogging, to look at, it's such a long preparation just to go jogging, whereas a man just puts on his jogging attires and he's off to go and jog. So we demonstrated simply with that PSA just how difficult it is for women. And the feedback we received from people who were saying, oh my, we've never realized just how difficult our lives are as women. And the talk show has really opened up for people to start talking about what is happening every day in South Africa. So we are hoping that a season 2 will come and that it will even be bolder in how it tackles the issues and how, we hold people to account and how we unpack, the intersections of this system and how it impacts negatively in the lives of women and girls in South Africa. Thank you.